Next, I'd like to recognize Mr. Moylan for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Heathaker, it's good to see you again. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the informational trip we had to the Yale School of Forestry and the Yale Forest as much as I did. Of course, it was very interesting to hear about the Yale forest managers and the response to this complex challenge they have in their forest. And for yourself, Troy, as someone who has spent time in a lot of different national forests across the country, can you just expand and talk about how important it is to empower individual forest services units to meet the unique needs facing their forest?
Yeah, the examples, thank you for the question. It's good to see you again, too. It was a great trip. I enjoyed just the time together to talk forest policy and think about where we're heading with how we manage these great public lands that we're entrusted to steward. The trying to answer any question in the Forest Service, with one answer is really challenging. I mean, we have forests from Florida all the way up to, central Alaska. And so having the ability to shape management and activities based on those specific ecosystems, what the local public and the communities need in terms of resource management and benefits it's I wouldn't say it's a challenge, it's an opportunity for us. And so we have to be flexible. We have to understand what those each of those ecosystems, each of those forest types needs. And like I said, working across boundaries with the partners and being as collaborative we can is really critical for us to get that work done.
Thank you for that. Next question is for Mr. Johansson. I believe the best solutions come from the ground up and are locally led. The Fire Sheds Act allows states and local entities to address fire sheds on both federal and non-federal land. How would this state and local knowledge help the Forest Service in treating more wildfire-prone areas?
I mean, I think it just comes from local knowledge in the history of the forest. And as I said before, as far down, it's true in politics even, right? The most responsive is always how far down you can get to local, whether that's politics or whether that's managing a forest or a fire shed. There's going to be more you bring in the counties and you bring in the tribes who live there and it's their home. You're going to have a much more responsive push to address the situation that the forests need in terms of managing them. So I think ultimately, too, you have another partner. You have another partner at the local level, to assist, because we know that the Forest Service, in terms of acreage that they have to manage, is overwhelmed. We can see that in terms of even after a fire, we can only reseed up to 8,000 acres, a year. So I think it's imperative that you start looking locally and look down for more assistance for the Forest Service, and then even at the state level.
Thank you for your response, panel. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You yield back my time.